Hey, this is Notser, and we are on the public test server. We are checking out some changes that will be introduced in 0.5.12, and we're in the New Orleans. Now, the New Orleans is, of course, a cruiser, a high-tier cruiser. Why would I be in this ship? Well, there is a brand new module that will be available at first. Oh, what is that? Voice over language, British English? What the heck is British English? Obviously, you know it's going to be English with a British flair. There's also French. Yes. Pretty nice, huh? So we're going to check out the British English in this video. I plan on doing another video, maybe tomorrow, where we'll have French as the primary audio, and maybe it'll be a battleship with the bow changes. But yeah, check out how fast this ship is maneuvering with the rudder. And anyone who is not familiar, in 0.5.12, there will be a brand new module that will only be available to tier 7 through 10 cruisers. All the cruisers will have access to it, no matter Soviet, American, Japanese, German, and I assume British whenever they're available. You can't test the British cruisers on the public test server, unfortunately. But you can see we were just wiggling back and forth to give you an idea. On the live version, the New Orleans probably has a rudder shift of around 8 seconds, give or take. Is that a fair statement? Roughly around there, maybe 10, in that realm. This module gives the New Orleans the ability to have the rudder react in 3.3 seconds. 3.3 seconds. It is decidedly destroyer feeling. And you might say, well, what do I have to give up to use this? Well, this is the module slot that has target acquisition and concealment on it. So you would have to give up your ability to conceal your ship better in order to run this. Is it worth it? I don't know. This was quite literally the first game using it, and I'm trying to get in position to engage the enemies on this flank. What else have they changed that isn't blatantly obvious from this position? Well, the bow armor is adjusted. You can see the massive amount of battleships, but only tier 8 and above. And as many people have continued to bring up, they did not touch the turrets. They are not allowed to touch the turrets. And my main point was that Steam has a return policy that is available to people for video games, and you have, what, a 2-hour window of play? That's it. You can return any game, though, and they could have done something similar. If you had 2 to 5 hours of play with a premium, that's it. But if it was blanket across the board, you could decide to return it whether you like it or not. And so far, the European Union is fine with this. Now, is someone going to bring a lawsuit? You never know. But at the end of the day, it's very important that all the ships are fair, balanced. You can't just have outliers exist in the form of premium. Otherwise, people that have those will have a decided advantage over those who don't. Is that the case right now? I can't tell. Most of these players are just screwing around, doing random crap, right? It's the public test server. But what I can test is the rudder shift module, the British audio, and hopefully you can catch a little bit of it. I do try my best to make sure that it is at least audible, so you can't just ignore it. But it does have a British flair to it. It is very British. I mean, it's exciting because the British are coming. Quite literally, the British are coming in the form of the cruiser line, and I can't wait to have my hands on it for real this time with the changes and share those thoughts. But you can just see how quick the rudder wants to react. It's going to be really hard to get a player to not be really elusive whenever they are at the helm of a cruiser that has this module. And I was a little surprised. The module is available to pretty much everyone. You could stack this on top of your other rudder shift module. You could honestly not run that and get acceleration if you so choose. Is 3 seconds a little, ridiculous? Absolutely. For the Soviet, they're going to benefit obviously more than something like the Americans, but listen to this. Destroyed an enemy cruiser? Oh, off to a good start. You enjoy this stuff. It's great. I'm glad that they put this in. I'm glad that it was placed before the cruiser line was available, because it's just another aspect of the game that I really personally enjoy. Hopefully you do too. And yeah, I think they did all right. I think it's very British. It might be stereotypical British, but having English in twice, it has to be extremely British in order for people to feel like, it's worth it. It's worth my time, So, our team has captured Sea Point. I see an enemy North Carolina doing the bow on thing, and this is going to be interesting, not from my point of view. We have a friendly battleship that is also bow on, and he's looking to do damage. Now, the North Carolina has already sustained a pretty fair amount of damage. I'm headed towards him. Obviously, he's staying right at the edge of my range, and it's an issue. It's an issue when you're this far away. And oh gosh, that is a lot of damage. He definitely citadeled. Don't shoot 262. I again try to fire, and I don't lead him as well as I would like. And the German ship has an advantage at this range. He also has torpedoes, and did he hit the target? I don't think he did. But they're still bow on. Are they going to crash into each other? Please don't crash into each other. Nope. Nope, he's taken out from the Gneisen now. So, could the bow armor have already influenced that engagement? Possibly. It certainly didn't help. He took a lot of damage very quickly, and he was basically going directly at the guy. Maybe a little bit of angle. Now, this isn't the only thing that they've changed. I will try to play in the Khabarovsk, but just to preview, just to give you a taste of what they've done, I went onto the live version. The Khabarovsk has a range of somewhere around 15.3, 15.2 kilometers on the live version right now. In this version of the game, this public test server 0.5.12, it has a range of 11.2 as its maximum range. That is it was 15.6, sorry. 15.6. That is a nerf of 4.4 kilometer ranges. The live version 15.6 to the test server of 11.2. As predicted, right? They better not have it around 11 and 10. And sure enough, that's what they did. So you basically are going to be required in the Soviet destroyers to have to run the range extender. You just can't. You can't have a max range of 11.2. That's just ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's very obvious to me at this point in the life cycle of the game that they are doing changes with the modules in mind, and that is hurting the balance of some ships, in my opinion. I mean, 11.2 is too shallow. It's just too shallow. That is right on the edge of secondary gun range for all of the German battleships, and of course they're going to do that. It's right on the secondary range of most Japanese at those tiers that would see them. That's way too close to your enemy. So it's very obvious that they want you to use the range extension module. Right now, I use the rate of fire. And that, obviously, it makes it really, really powerful on live version. I would have liked them to be somewhere around 13. I think 13 would have been a nice number. It would have allowed you, if you so choose, to go range and get up to 15 again. But it also would give you the viability to decide, hey, you know what, I want rate of fire. At 11.2, they've made your choice. You have to use the range extension. You can't risk the ship that much. It's just too big. It's too easy to hit at around 10 kilometer ranges. It's just a recipe for disaster. So I was a little frustrated to see that they did indeed nerf it as hard as I thought they were going to do. And that Udaloy is not much better. In fact, they have nerfed those two ships' range so much that the Tashkent at tier 8 has better baseline range than the Khabarovsk. Yeah. Now, obviously, the modules, it's going to push over the tier 9 and 10, but let's ignore that. The whole point of the module system, in my opinion, is to have the player have a real choice, make a real choice about how they're going to design their ship. Is it going to be rate of fire? Is it going to be range? If the range of your guns is too shallow, you have to use it. You can't use rate of fire. It's just not an option. If secondary guns are so effective that they're going to be able to get you 10, 20, 30,000 points of damage and people are closer, you have no other option. You have to be manual secondary. You're giving up too much to the enemy. And some people say, well, I don't like playing the game min-maxing. Okay, well, you're going to fail a lot, and this isn't relevant to you. But to people who actually want to compete, it's not good changes. It's really heavy-handed changes. So far that I've seen from Wargaming. Now, in this game, we're not doing much. I'm just trying to get in range, but look how aggressive I'm pushing. It's because the rudder is so responsive. I feel just like a destroyer. I can avoid the inevitable torpedoes that are incoming. And we gotta get them dead. We do a lot of damage, and I don't know if we're gonna be able to kill him before a friendly gets a shot. No, he's taken out. But I was ready to dodge those torpedoes. There will be more testing of the cruiser changes. There will be more testing of the battleship changes. But this is just a look at the British audio and discussing some of the changes that I've seen so far. We're middle of the pack. Nothing special, right? Pretty average game. That's not the point of this. If you're British, what do you think of the British audio, if you heard some of it? I try to be quiet for kills, and you might have heard every once in a while he's spotting. So, again, hope you liked seeing this early preview. There's going to be more for 0.5.12. We will be streaming later today. Maybe not 5.12, but there will be a video associated with 5.12. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time. By the way, I almost forgot, credit XP. Didn't really notice anything on that front for team play. Plus, there's no ribbons that notify the player that they're doing a good job in the first place. It wasn't put in as well as it should have.